Hi guys, it is James and welcome back to this week's episode of Friday Night COD. Now in today's episode we're going to be doing some World at War campaign and we're going to be doing the most memorable mission from World at War, which is Vendetta. I mean, you could say it's one of the most memorable missions. I mean, you've got this one with the ray gun, or you've got Downfall, Breaking Point. You know, those memorable missions, but I think for me this was the most memorable. And this is the first level you play as that's the first level you play as the Red Army. But in our playthrough we're gonna explore the glitch that you can do with this map, where you could do more things with the mission, which most people got the achievement for killing him with a pistol began. That's how I got my achievement. Got that 9 years ago. It doesn't feel that long ago, but yeah, 9 years ago. So you spawn into the mission and all your comrades are dead. You look and you see one. You look to your left, you see another, but they keep moving whilst there's German patrols walking around. Unlike you, where you're playing dead, these guys are moving around. The German soldiers don't spot them. You look around, the birds are eating at your fellow soldiers. You know? You think you almost make it out. But then there's that just one soldier who has an eye and takes out what you believe to be the last remainder of your squad. You think you're on your own in this mission, but then you're able to move. You think you're gonna just be alone on this mission, but then out of nowhere, the greatest Call of Duty character in the Treyarch games comes to life. Sergeant Reznov. So we're sitting here in war-torn Stalingrad. Two people who are just survivors of this whole platoon of just young men, extinguished just by a pull of a trigger. People you trained with and fought with are lying here dead. And you look onto the road, you see the people. You see the general who's responsible for all this, General Amsel, and you can't take the shot, not yet at least. But he's the reason why, as Reznov said, killing men, women and children, no remorse for who. We have soldiers here who probably just got into the military. Young men just like Pruchenko himself. But they don't know what's coming to them, do they? So yeah, in this mission, you know, this was like the all gillied up of Call of Duty World at War, but not. This was the more intense version of all gillied up. This wasn't really relying on stealth as much due to, you know, it's World War II. There's not going to be any suppressed snipers. But I mean, you get the classic Mosin-Nagant. So we get, you know, all our German soldiers just come. Oh, someone comes up, realises his mates are dead. Are we clear yet? Nope, there's a dog. And then we kill the dog. Right, so we follow Reznov. We'll go to the. Let's follow where Amsel went for this building. But wait, there's an armoured patrol coming. Now, we found another route, as Reznov says. But anyway, I would like to talk about my history with this game. World at War to me was my favourite Call of Duty game at the time. It just was amazing. I mean, like I have said before, Call of Duty 4 and World at War have this special charm to them. Nothing that no Call of Duty after was able to perfect. Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, MW3, BO2, masterpieces, but they weren't able to have this special trait that World at War and COD 4 had. And then this mission just shows what they were able to accomplish, you know. Before, games had to become politically correct. You know, you could have the hammer and sickle or the swastika in your game. You know, this game showed the horrors of war. We see your young comrades just getting killed for nothing, at all. You see them with their limbs blown off. This game had so much gore. Nothing like that was in World War 2. Now, don't get me wrong, World War, brilliant campaign, I loved it. But it just, you know what, it was too politically correct. It didn't feel like a true World War 2 experience, it felt more like one of those movie experiences. Compared to this game where you feel like you're actually in the war. Like this could have actually been something that happened in Stalingrad. So in this room, this is where this is why you can never do this mission on veteran, is mainly due to this guy, because this guy likes on the hardened and veteran likes to throw up decoys, or where is he? He's up there. Got him. You know, this just whole section is just so like surreal. Like Call of Duty 4 had some beautiful environments, you know. Obviously it had war-torn environments, but it had some. COD 4 had the beauty, but COD 4 had World at War had the grit. So this is the glitch most people usually do to shorten mission, right? And we're gonna do it because, not gonna lie, most of the mission is it's mainly just sniping. But I felt like we've already done the all gillied up sniping mission. But there's this way you could do. You can mess around with the AI spawns a little bit. So if you run here, you'll see someone spawn with his car. Because in the mission, this is used to pick up General Amsel. So we run over to here. Oh yeah, also in this mission you have infinite ammo. So let me just shoot this and make it run out of ammo. See? Infinite ammo. You run over here and then these guys just spawn in. Oh god. Usually I have bad aim with this gun. And these guys all have Kar 98K, so it's not like they've got MP40s. Let me just shoot them. Can I also say that this game had the most scariest zombies mode, in my opinion. Like, nothing was able to compete with this. I mean, don't take it for granted. This game's zombies mode is very bare bones. But there was something scary about it, you know. The atmosphere of Varrock, Tashino, Nacht, terrifying. Like, this game was just terrifying. The multiplayer sounds. If you were here in one of my earliest videos with the pianos and that, you would be able to hear sounds in the multiplayer. I was playing with Nathan on this a few weeks ago, and genuinely it was terrifying because you heard the sounds in the background and it was just so unnerving, to say the least. So we got this guy in the truck. Or we don't have this guy in the truck. There's usually a guy in... Okay, somehow he just died. There's this guy here who isn't even holding the steering wheel. This guy is shaking. He looks real nervous. But there's nothing a good old bullet to the head won't solve. You know. Like, I've always seen this... I don't know, right? But in this game, There's like, on the guys' faces you see like sweat and just stress just pouring down. You never got that on COD 4, but you got it on this game. Like, you see sweat and all that just going down, and that just makes it feel realistic to me. You know, these guys didn't have a choice where they were going. They were forced to into the war. But Private Pachenko was most likely forced from his village into the war. And as you know, he dies in Black Ops 1, but he survives the war, but he gets killed by Dragovich and Steiner. And like, Private Miller was probably just a young man wanting to serve his country. Same with Polonsky, Roebuck, Sullivan. Even in World War II, Daniels was just there to do his bit for his country. But at the time, these were all just propaganda related, you know, and especially in the Soviet Union. Like, there was so much like partisan movements in the occupied countries. You know, you had the French resistance, Yugoslav partisans, Albanian partisans. You had so much going on, like so much unheard people in the war. Usually when you're taught about the war, you always hear either about the Americans or the British. You never really hear about the Russian side, or as they call the war, the Great Patriotic War. Like, the contribution of the Soviet Union. 20 million people died in the war, and they were all from the Soviet Union. Like, this was genuinely 20 million people of the world's biggest country died in this war. And if you go to the post-Soviet countries, in every village, mainly, there's always a memorial. And I will actually link one of the descriptions to a channel I watch where he tours the post-Soviet countries. His name's Baldwin Bankrupt, one of my favourite YouTubers of all time. But he'll go to villages in Azerbaijan, Belarus, Russia, Ukraine, and you'll have there was one video in Belarus that he made, and it was one whole family, the Gramikas, if I remember. It was all just like the same family on the names. Like, no one forgets the sacrifices these families made just to help their country. I mean, don't get me wrong, America and Britain did a huge part in the war, but we forget about the Eastern Front, like Stalingrad, Kursk. Don't get me wrong, the Soviet Union was not innocent at the start of the war. No one was innocent during the war. Like, the British and Americans were just as bad. They killed the Germans just as much as the Germans killed us. And, you know, we would genuinely lose. Like, people got away with murdering innocent civilians, and the Soviets took all the territories they claimed and then made them into communist puppet states, all for the benefit of Stalin, because Stalin wanted all the power. And then Yugoslavia turned into a communist state, and Tito eventually fell out with Stalin. But you had Czechoslovakia, Hungary, East Germany, the Cold War. It was just Cold War coming on from World War II. Scary things, man. Like, the war changed the world. Like, World War One was brutal, but nothing matched this war. This was a war on a scale no one had seen before. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm pretty sure, right? We jump into the lake. Is this the Volga? Because now this city's actually called Volgograd. You see Reznov T-pose in there. You actually see like where you're in the war. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of Friday Night COD. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, favourite, and subscribe. And I'll see you all later. Goodbye, guys.